So, what kinds of duties were you assigned at the stock show? Why do you like doing that work, and what are your interests in furthering your career from this point?
I volunteered behind the rope and shoots. I did it just because I like the rodeo scene, and I worked the Stampede a little bit, but I didn't get to work the big show. So this was my first year doing that. That was a lot of fun.
Awesome. So I got to do a little bit of everything this year. Since I did royalty in the past, I got to work as a royalty liaison in training this year, and I got to do a lot of escorting and a lot of teaching the girls like how to speak up and how to teach kids about agriculture. And it's very intriguing because as you're teaching the kids, you're also teaching adults that come to the stock show that don't know, and you're also teaching every person that kid tells about like agriculture, and it's really, really awesome. I also had an opportunity to work gold buckle at the Mexican rodeo and learn a little bit of Spanish.
Um, I did ticket taking, so I guess like all the people who came in, I took their ticket stubs and made sure that they had like the right tickets and stuff. And then I also worked the information booth where I like helped people when they didn't know like where they were going or what they were doing.
So I worked drug testing a lot, which was not very glamorous. So I just took pee samples from all the animals, pretty much. But it was actually pretty cool to like be with them.
I got the opportunity to work a dog show, one of the dog cattle shows, and it was a lot of fun getting to move the cattle around and help work the show.
We got to do farmyard follies, and it was just cool getting to hang out with all the different kinds of animals and just learn fun little facts about them and just kind of expand your knowledge on things like that.
We also did ticket taking and greeting, so it was cool to meet a lot of people and just do that sort of stuff, I guess.
I was driving a tractor. I went from the stockyards to the National Western Building, and I just drove in a big old circle.
I did ticket sweeps, ticket taking, and gold buckle.
Are what you did based in where you want to go in life and career-wise? I mean, does everyone kind of want to be in this field of work and further their career here?
So I got an opportunity to learn more about the career I want to go into because I was escorting royalty to different areas. I got them to pony trails, and I've always kind of thought about going into something equine or agriculture, and I really had a great experience learning about like the chiropractic side, and I've always had chiropractics done on my horses, but I never thought about going into that field. And I feel National Western has helped me realize that's the field I want to go into and has helped me make connections to where I can get to that point in my life.
I would say I don't really want to go into an agricultural field or anything like that, but doing stock shows really helps me like be able to talk to people better and just come out of that comfort zone and then go up to that next level of just communicating with people and meeting all different sorts of people, and I think that would definitely help for a career.
How many hours have you put into this stock show?
I think I was in the high 20s, I think.
I think with last year and this year I was up to like 40 or 50 hours.
This year I put in about 25 hours, but all 3 years combined I put in about 175 hours.
Does anybody want to lay out maybe what their day would have looked like day to day working through the stock show event in January?
So when I worked the rodeo, I got there about 2 or 3 hours early, and we loaded the rope and pens with all of the different timed events, animals, a bunch of different livestock. And then once the rodeo started, we sorted them, and then it was just kind of off from there. It never really stopped until the rodeo ended, so we were just sorting a bunch. And then at the end, we got to watch all the big events, so best seats in the house.
Another thing to think about is if you're looking to volunteer at stock show is the mornings, if you work a morning shift, are pretty early because if you're not early, you're late, and I've always been taught that. So most of our mornings looked like we were getting up at like 4:30 because we live a long distance away. So if you live a little bit closer, you don't have to wake up as early, but getting there on time early for your shifts, making sure you get all checked in, and then your day kicks off, and when you're done, your feet hurt a little bit, and you go home and start all again the next day.
So like for the livestock and drug testing, it's always pretty busy. So you always have something to do. You're not really standing around. And then drug testing, we got there pretty early, at like I think it was 8 mostly. And then the second you get there, you have a witness. You're partnered up with somebody, and you're just every single pig or lamb that comes out of there, you're on them, and then you stay with them for as long. I was sitting with a pig for almost it felt like an hour, and some people have been sitting with pigs for 4 hours because they won't pee. So it can get boring, but it is entertaining.
Is there something that maybe came as unexpected when you joined?
The only really unexpected thing is like when you first get there, it's like a lot to take in, and then you're running back and forth. And like the thing is, working at National Western teaches you like adaptability, because plans will change on a dime and you have to roll with it. So sometimes, like, most rodeos are like very like time set, and some of them are here too, but like if you work any of the horse shows and a horse can't go in for whatever reason, now you're like trying to make up time for that, and you just have to think on a dime and be able to adapt, which is something stock show teaches you.
I think if you're brand new to this or to any sort of agriculture, I think it can be kind of unexpected at how great the community is. There's just so many nice people, so many people that'll teach you everything you need to know, and it's just a great place to be.
Another thing unexpected is like if you're brand new, is finding stuff. It's a pretty big complex, and especially last year it was hard to find everything. And then you have to go find like the volunteer offices, and some of those are pretty hidden. So you just have to get there pretty early, because we ended up being late for one because we just couldn't find it. We were walking around for like 30 minutes.
How do you believe this stock show is going to help you? And obviously you're returning contributions to the stock show. How is that going to help you further your career? And why should people join to further their career?
I think you can further your career in you can learn different stuffs in agriculture at the stock show. I mean, they have just about everything, but I think the thing that you can really take home is what they teach you about how to live and how to enjoy life a little bit. I think no matter what you want to go into in life, I think the stuff you learn about how to live life to the fullest is what you learn and what you take on the most.
Yeah. And like at the stock show, even if you don't want to pursue an agriculture thing, if you want to go entrepreneurial, we have one of the biggest trade shows in the United States, and there is bound to be something in the trade show that you can go and learn from. Like the saying is, you learn something new every day, and if you don't try, you're not going to learn. So if you really try and learn something from the stock show, even if you don't want to do agriculture, you can go and learn from all of the people at the trade show how to be a great entrepreneur and promote your business better too.
The stock show, it really helps you learn how to communicate better and problem solve, and then like Eliza said, it really teaches you adaptability to everything, and just like I said, problem solving, being able to help other people, and I think that'll help you for any career that you want to go into, just learning those skills.
Do we have any other memorable stories or maybe lessons learned from the stock show?
So I worked in pony trails one day too, and they have the 2 little miniature horses that the kids can come pet, and one of them was not on his best behavior, and he almost bit a kid's face, which was not, the parents were not very happy with us. We're like, we can't control him. And it's pretty crazy how many kids have never touched a horse before, and they're just like so shocked, and they go straight for the face, and some kids are pretty bad about not listening to the directions with that.
Does anyone have a favorite part of the stock show? A favorite day?
Well, I do this program where I go down to Elbert and I'm a part of their FFA. And so we got to go down there on Colorado FFA Day. And it was really cool just to see like all of the people that are like in the agricultural community, because you don't really realize how many people are a part of it until you're actually down there seeing them.
So starting at this end, what are your plans for next year's stock show and just in general moving forward?
I think I'll be back. Hopefully. I enjoyed being on the. I think they call themselves the Cinch Timed Event Team. You get to wear the cool white shirts and be on TV, and I'll definitely be back.
I hope I can be back next year. It's really fun. Of course, like we talked earlier, my career is kind of leading me in different places, so I always want to come back for stock show. I want to be a volunteer for 50 years because then you get to ride on a chariot, and it's really awesome during one of the rodeos. And I've always looked up to the people who have volunteered for so many years. So I want to be back. It's really fun. If I can do an internship and get elective credit for it, I would, and I recommend everyone do it because it's a fun experience, and if you intern enough, you may or may not be able to graduate early and take extra core classes during school. And it's just a really fun experience. You get to learn a lot.
Well, I graduate this year, but I definitely think I will go back to the stock show next year because there's just so much more that you can learn, and anybody can volunteer for the stock show. It doesn't matter if you're still in high school or not.
I'm going to college next year, so I don't know if I'll be able to, but I hope that I can maybe talk to like my admissions counselor, like my counselor there, and see if maybe I can get kind of like an internship thing where I can come back down for stock show, and even if I don't get credit for it, maybe I can be excused or something. But I definitely want to try and come back.
I will definitely keep doing stock show next year, and I will probably plan on doing these same exact things I did this year because I enjoyed them a lot.
I'll be graduating this year, so I don't know if I'll be able to go to stock show, but if I have the opportunity to, I'd love to.
Same for me. I'll be graduating and going to college next year. So if I'm back in Colorado, it'd definitely be fun to do again.
I will definitely go back to the stock show and work it. It was a great experience.
Next year, I'll definitely be doing the same thing.
Did any of you encounter anyone who was unfamiliar with the agricultural world, or maybe even yourself, and had to kind of walk them through it or walk yourself through it?
For one of my shifts, I was working transportation, and I came across this one family who had never been around it. They moved here from New York, and I brought them around to multiple different buildings and showed them what was in each one and what they most likely want to see.
I'd say at least every day I would encounter someone that was just like flabbergasted that this kind of world existed. And there was one family that moved here from Colombia, and they had their version of agriculture is completely different than ours, and they wanted to see the Longhorns. And I was like, well, it was the day of the Longhorn drive, and I was like, at 2:00, you guys can watch them drive the Longhorns, and they've never seen cattle before in their life. So I was out there with them watching it just for funsies, and they were like, whoa, it was just really cool to see them see a cow for the first time and go, wow, that's where my food comes from. That's crazy. And every day you meet someone like that, and it's good because people that come to stock show may not realize where their food comes from, and you kind of get to teach them that along the way. And I feel like every day I came to stock show for the past 3 years, I've got to teach at least one person about agriculture every day, which is really, really awesome.
There's also a bunch of people from different countries. I've noticed there's some French people, and there's quite the communication barrier there. And there was a bunch of schools that came in, and half of them just spoke Spanish, and the teacher was the only one that could speak English. So it could kind of be an issue, but it was really cool because they'd never seen any of that, especially the kids. Like I said, with the ponies, never touched one, hardly ever seen one. And then even my own niece, we took them, and they were little piglets, and she's never seen that before, and so she's like, hi, piggies. So they're really infatuated with it, especially the little ones.
And with the petting zoo, we just walked up there to go look around, and all the kids going into the petting zoo screaming of excitement, and just the looks on their face because they've never been able to do something like that, or they've never even seen these animals. I heard some kids asking what is this, what am I looking at here? And it's just kind of cool to see them get that experience and learn about all these different animals.
I think just watching people too. You can, like, if you've never been around this before, I think just going and being there helps a lot. I think I didn't interact with a ton of people because I was down below. But I was the kid who did watch the people that I ended up working for. And I think it was really good to kind of step into the shoes of the kids or the people that I watched as a kid. It was great.
What are your future plans, and how has the stock show helped you?
So I have always wanted to I've always wanted to be a horseshoer. My dad's a horseshoer, so it's pretty much what I've always wanted to do. But I've always been infatuated with raising livestock, especially rough stock kind of rodeo animals. So the plan is to be a horseshoer, and then I'd love to get into some livestock on the side.
So I've not always been around the agriculture industry. My dad was in the Air Force a lot, so I am a military brat. And then when we moved to Colorado, it was like the first week we moved here, and my grandparents were like, have you ever been to a stock show? And I was like, no. So they took me to stock show, and I had my first experience with real agriculture, and I still have a picture of me meeting rodeo queens for the first time. And I told my dad, I want to do that. And soon enough, 12 years later, I tried out and I made it. And stock show is the reason I am where I am today. And a lot of people don't realize that, volunteers, that you're really changing kids' life. They might be able to come into this industry later in life, and it's really, really exciting. And I've been showing horses my whole life, and through stock show, I realized I want to be an equine chiropractor and massage therapist for them and take care of horses for the rest of my life.
So I plan to be a veterinarian, but I think being at the stock show and seeing all the animals and seeing how the people treat them, I don't know, it just opened my eyes on how even though I could have done an internship to be a veterinarian down there, I still got to experience how all the other people treat the animals and things like that.
So I plan on being a teacher, hopefully elementary school. So being down and working with the kids, I was literally teaching them and basically being a teacher down there. And it just shows me even more how much I love kids and how much I would enjoy being with them all the time.
I will plan on going to trade school and eventually, after all that, coming back to agriculture. I think stock show really helped me find that.
I want to be a nurse, and I definitely think that stock show helped me, again, with people skills, just learning communication and just helping people and being able to problem solve and adaptability. And I think I could use all of that for my career.
I plan on going into metal fabrication, and there was quite a bit of metal work at the stock show, so it was cool to see how other people did their stuff and just get ideas and just kind of check out other people's work. So that was cool.
I want to go into the medical field. So getting good communication with people really helped at the stock show. And definitely helping a lot of people out.
I want to be a firefighter, and I definitely learned schedule, conversations, people skills, just general things you need to know to be a successful adult.
So I was volunteering at Go Buckle, and someone was like, wow, you look really young. And I was like, oh, I'm with Elizabeth High School, and we do an internship program. And he goes, man, you Elizabeth High School kids work so hard. And it's just nice that we leave a good representation, even in sports and at stock show, no matter where we go.